Hi, welcome to another one of my street videos in China. Unlike a lot of the videos that you see of people's faces, you don't need to see my ugly mug. I want to show you the streets of China, so I'm just going to talk over the sights and the sounds as we go. This is JiuYanQiao, which is a nine-eyed bridge. It's actually where I'm walking down towards the bridge itself now. This is a popular university district in the heart of Chengdu, old Chengdu. This is within the river that circles the city. This is sort of the old downtown. There's a couple universities here. First, we have Sichuan which is Sichuan University, which is one of the top universities in China. But also to the behind these restaurants here is the Sichuan Conservatory of Music, and it's an art school as well. Also very popular. So this is a real university area. I'm just walking here to my usual Wednesday haunt, which is an expat bar called the Underground that hosts a quiz night. The owner is British, so he does a British pub quiz, which is always a lot of fun. So I'm heading there, but I figured I'd show you the way. Just again, to give you a sense of street life here in Chengdu. You got some stores here on the left, this convenience stores, that sort of thing. You saw some restaurants back there as well. This is not too late at night. It's only about 8:30 on a Wednesday night. You can see from my last video I mentioned the ubiquitous Mobikes. We just call them all Mobikes, even though there's about 5 different companies, if not more, in China now selling these bikes. They're actually becoming quite a hazard since my last video, and the government is starting to get a little bit concerned about the sheer volume of bikes. In fact, I think they've banned new companies from starting this. So these are sort of just tiny little shops. This is a copy shop right here. So like this is the Chinese version of Staples right there. That's it. There's no Staples in China to go get photocopies done. You get these little stores. And that's about it. Over there across the street is actually a natural gas station, primarily for taxi cabs, which in Chengdu and in most of China all run on natural gas. So it's usually packed with taxis and a few natural gas cars and buses that are around. Maybe this time of night a lot of these shops are shuttered up for the evening. Yeah, there's that gas station again. We're going to eventually cross the street over there. I want to show you kind of a nice neighborhood with a lot of small Sichuan restaurants and other types of restaurants, Muslim restaurants as well. Pretty tasty stuff. You can see in the distance there's that laser light pointing up. I'm not going to walk down there, but that's JiuYanQiao there. That's the nine-eyed bridge there, which is it's not a spectacular bridge. It's just a pretty famous view of Chengdu in this east side of town. A lot of construction going on here. Usually I would walk on the other side of the street, but the area where I normally would walk has been closed off because they're doing yet another subway stop. Chengdu is now up to 5 working subway lines. There were 2 when I moved here about 3.5 years ago. We're now up to 5, and we have, I believe, at least another 5 planned. So there's a lot of road construction that sort of creeps up. But here I kind of forget where I'm going, so keep walking down the street. Over there you see a Hongqi store. Hongqi is one of the more famous Chinese 24/7 convenience stores. They're everywhere. And they sell everything from cigarettes to groceries to snacks and booze, anything you want. Hongqi. You can also top up your subway card there and pay your electric bill at Hongqi as well. They're a pretty famous Chinese brand. I always like the countdown for traffic lights and walk signals. Lets you know how much time you got left. We have to cross the street. It's an old style bus right there. Chengdu has a couple of those left, a couple of bus lines. I've actually never been on one. A friend of mine was saying, oh, I actually just got on one just to see what it was like, but I usually get on more modern buses. As always, crossing the street in China is always fun. You got to dodge motorbikes and people and cars as well, even though you have a walk signal. You can see over here, there's a side alleyway, which I just really like. Actually, if you follow me on Facebook or seen a lot of the pictures I put on Facebook, I've taken a fair number of pictures of this alleyway, just because it I guess to someone who doesn't live in China, it really in a lot of ways epitomizes China. But it's a very typical. It looks kind of exotic, but it's a very typical street. It's a place that when I first moved to China, I would have been like, wow, look at this. This is it here. But it's just kind of normal. One of the things that I always forget is just sort of how normal China has become for me. And, just maneuvering around and, walking into one of these places and ordering food would have seemed like an impossible task to me 3 years ago. And now it's I don't even really think about it. So these are what locals call, Jenny's, fly restaurants. And the implication is that there's flies in them. But the other thing is the food's really good. And you might look at these restaurants as an American or as a foreigner and say, oh, it doesn't really look that neat. And, my first time in China, my tour guides would never have brought me to a restaurant like this. They always brought me to these very foreign-friendly restaurants. This is a Muslim noodle house. It's very popular from the north of Sichuan, Langzhou, although most of them aren't really authentic. But they're usually owned by Muslim families, and they offer beef and sheep, lamb and chicken, but no pork, obviously, because they're Muslim run. So, noodles over there. So anyway, these places are actually generally where you can find the best food. I've lived here 3.5 years. I've eaten in places like this more times than I can count, and I've never been sick. Maybe I have an iron stomach. I don't know. But if you come to China, don't be afraid to go into one of those places. They don't look like a clean, sanitary, ideal place, but they are. All right, so this is the end of this alley. We're at what's called Dajiuba, which means the big bar. There's some big nightclubs here that are pretty popular with the college crowd. The place I go is down an alleyway here, but it's definitely not a nightclub. Chinese nightclubs are certainly interesting, and if you're in China and you're into nightclubs at all, you should check one out. This place is relatively new zero. I've never heard of it before. They're actually quite expensive for Chinese people, but as a foreigner, in a lot of the nightclubs in China, I can sort of go in and drink for free and schmooze for free because they want that foreign cachet. So this is a place that's just opened up called Deep Power. I actually know one of the promoters. Like, that's a big deal. I know one of the promoters because, like, every foreigner in China knows all the promoters for these clubs. They make it a point to make sure they add us on the WeChat application so they can invite us in for free drinks. And in fact, Ashley, who's the promoter that I know here, just the other night said, hey, we're just opening up. You need to come in. Cocktails are on me. So if I wanted to, I could go in here with my friends, whether they're foreign or Chinese, and basically just drink for free and hang out for free. So this place looks pretty cool. This is actually my first time seeing it. It's a little retro. They have like a supermarket there where you can buy snacks and booze. And it's like some food outside. I'll have to check it out one of these days. I've never eaten here at this Gaga chicken place, but it seems pretty popular as well. The designer, where is it? Yeah, it's a designer hotel, which is where you can, if you're a college student and you get stuck here at the nightclub until 2 in the morning. Chinese college dorms close at around 1 o'clock. They lock them up. The exact time varies, but maybe midnight or 1 o'clock. So what a lot of Chinese college students do, especially the ones that have a little bit of money, is they'll party until they'll either literally party until the dorm opens up at 6 in the morning and then go back to sleep, or they'll bring their boyfriend or girlfriend back to one of these little sort of they're not, I don't call them love hotels, that's what they're called in Japan, but they are essentially love hotels. That's essentially what they are. And also prostitution goes on in those places as well. This is pretty famous. This is actually Ba. This is the big bar next to me here with the yellow lights, Soho, which is a popular chain of nightclubs in China. This little blues place just opened up and doesn't seem to be doing any business. Usually there's about like 3 or 4 attractive men and women out here trying to get people in. Every time I walk by here, they're asking me to come in, but for whatever reason, they're not out here tonight. Maybe because they're about to go out of business. Yeah, a lot of these clubs open up and they don't really last too long. So this is the alleyway where the underground is. You can see the underground back there. It's got the British Underground sign. And that marks the end of my journey. I'm not going to show you the inside of the underground because my friends in there will be like, what are you doing? But anyway, definitely one of the expat locations in town. There's some food here I've never tried in 3.5 years. I've got to admit, that place sort of skeeves me a little bit. But anyway, here we are. That's it. That's my video. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you next time.